Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday edition of Politick'N as usual. It's your favorite alderman, Jamisha Harris, and I have my lovely co-host, Miss Councilwoman Ingram, and we have a special guest with us, Mr. Nicholas Green.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Good to be here.
I'm so excited. So, since this is your first Politicking as usual, the way that this podcast started off is I wanted to kind of engage people our age, pretty much everybody, on why voting is important. So, since you're new, you have to tell us why voting is important and why people should vote.
Why voting is important and why people should vote.
Why voting is important and why you are voting.
Okay, why it is important and why I am voting. Well, voting is important at this particular point in juncture in history. For anybody that knows, I say I'm a reforming history teacher. I'm teaching math right now. At this particular point in juncture in history, it is important that we vote because this is literally the United States at a crossroad. Yeah. This is do we continue on this road of becoming, I hate to sound alarmist, but being almost fascist, being possibly going down the road of having a more powerful executive, and possibility of somebody that might fly off the handle like a dictator would.
Right.
Or do we bring it back? Do we bring back the middle road? Do we try to go back to some of the gains that we had increased on as a country and as a people 8-10 years ago, and protect some of those things that are important? The Affordable Care Act, climate change, things that we grew up knowing something had to be done about. The government that we have at the moment has pretty much said to hell with all of it.
Right.
And let's just throw it to the wind and do what's best for our pockets. But we know what's best for businesses' pockets isn't always best for people.
Right.
So it's important. 2020 is important. Seems like every 4 years we say that this is the most important election of a generation. Maybe every 4 years the election gets more and more important because this is it. This the one. This is it.
That's the tweet.
Yeah.
This the one.
This the one.
For real.
But why am I voting? I vote because I want my daughter to grow up in a better community and state and world that I did. And I know that at this moment, that is not true.
Right.
And I feel like every step that we take moving forward as a country, as a people, we're just sort of, I don't want to say meandering out of control, but it just feels like that. It feels, I wake up in the morning sometimes, well, actually most mornings closer we get to this election, with just a little bit of dread.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's going on in the world around us. And I know that even as a Black kid growing up in the United States in the 90s and the 2000s, I felt secure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that my child, even though she's only 3 now, if maybe in 5 or 10 years will feel that way. And I want her to feel that way. So that's why I'm voting. That's why this election is important to me. That's why I'm voting this election.
Well, those are all valid and good reasons. And mine is the same. I just feel like it's my civic duty that ancestors had sacrificed lives for the vote. And I think it's important because for me to be able to cuss people out or talk shit on Facebook, I want to be able to know if you check my when they look you up on North Carolina voter, it shows that I voted. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I do people now. Like, if you ain't vote, please don't come to me with nothing, because you had a choice and you had an opportunity to utilize your voice and you were lazy and you chose not to. And I think for our age, I think we're caught in, saying that we're voting for, lesser of the two evils. And I guess I can agree, but at the same token, we already know what we have in the White House. We know what we've been through for 4 years. And I think it's kind of like a manager wanting to give someone the opportunity to show and prove. And I feel that's why I am voting for Biden. Um, and I was saying that I was going to vote on November 3rd, but I'm still going to be on driving restrictions, and hubby is not fitting to stand in the line with me on November 3rd. So I am voting early. We'll probably vote early on Saturday. Have you voted yet? Have you guys voted yet?
So I'm gonna let you go first, Mr. Green.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm planning on voting next Wednesday. So in my other role, I am president of the Lenore County Association of Educators, and so NCAE will be voting next Wednesday on our Red for Ed Day, and taking pictures. And so not only that, I mean, Wednesday is our virtual day in Lenore County, so I will be teaching and working from home. So I'll use that a little bit of time on that day to head around the corner to go to the polls in my red, taking selfies the whole way.
Yes, tag us. We would love to see them. What about you, sister?
So I am voting on the last day of early voting because we are having. So we there's a historically Black community. It's right beside the rec center is that is the polling location, is right beside the HBCU, which is in my district. And all year, even last year, we fought hard. I mean, we're going to Board of Elections meetings, getting petitions done to make sure we had this rec center as an early voting location. And we achieved that goal. And so October 31st, we will be doing a final push party at the polls situation to get people to come out and vote. And that's when I'm going to go vote.
That's awesome. I wanted to do October 31st, something around here called Trump and Treat, but I don't think it was gonna go over well.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. No, we're doing a Trump and Treat thing.
No, do Trump or treat.
Oh yeah, no. But let me tell you,
my husband had said that, and I was like, that would be so dope. But I'm thinking, like, we don't have space, Nick. Down at the board of elections, it's not a lot of space where you can do that. And I mean, if we did it on Broad Street, that's a long walk to freedom. So, I was just like, okay, never mind. Plus, I'm on restrictions anyways with driving. So I just said, somebody else gonna do it, but it needs to be done. But I mean, that's good. I'm excited. I mean, Demetrius sent us something in our group text that as of today at 5:30, 266,000 North Carolinians voted on the first day of early voting. So that's 100,000 more than 2016. So I want to congratulate everybody that voted today.
How do I end up on the show the night that my frat brother is not on the show?
No, he's coming.
He's coming. Yes, he's coming. And I'm gonna text him and be like, you better make sure you sign on too.
Yes, he's definitely gonna be on here because we need his energy. He is a hot mess because he'll tell
me. Oh my gosh. I
swear to God, if you go get some Jordans and you can't stand in line, I swear to God. So we Demetrius fitting to come.
he probably is not in a suit today.
Yo, I bet you that's probably why it's gonna take him a little longer because he know not to come up here with no suit on now.
Right.
But so again, like I said, I'm excited. Did anybody watch the governor's debate?
Really, Dan? Really? That was the one. That was it. That took me out.
At this point, Cooper getting my vote regardless. He appointed me to the Human Relations board, so he got my vote. I love Cooper. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like Dan Forrest. I got to meet him during the hurricane, but I just don't. I don't like him.
He looks
Somebody
so
told me.
smug.
Somebody told me they could literally listen. They listened to it with their eyes closed, and it sounded like Trump. That's what they said.
What, with Dan or with both of them?
Dan.
Well, I mean, didn't Trump endorse him or whatever? Little raggedy endorsement.
The other thing I find interesting, he said that Roy Cooper was an obstructionist. I hollered out loud when he said Roy Cooper was an obstructionist. I said, this man has done nothing for the past 4 years but try to go against everything that Roy Cooper has done, has said. He sued him for closing down shit. He was trying to...
Stupid.
He's been trying to do everything for the past 4 years to stop this man from being a successful governor. And he had the nerve to get up there on television in front of all these good North Carolinians and say that Roy Cooper was an obstructionist.
Yeah, listen. So do you think Roy, oh, here comes D-Man right now. So do you think Roy is going to win the election, or do you think Dan Forrest run? Put yourself on your spring.
What I say? I said, he coming in a suit.
Out. You about to get kicked out.
I said he coming in a suit.
I literally hung up off of one. I was logging into one while I was logging on the other. I got my Kappa shirt right there. I don't like being late, but I'm just glad to be here. What up, Newt?
Look, I forgot. I can't remember. I think I said he got a suit on or he don't. One of them, I said something about a suit.
Listen, you about to get kicked out. That's what's happening.
I'm out. I mean, I can switch the camera off and throw on a Kappa shirt really quick, but
I still got my.
Are you on 2 Zooms?
I got just one laptop, but literally I was exiting out of that one while I was signing into this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Switch off. You know how we do. We ain't playing.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Got a haircut and everything, trying to look fly. Good God.
It's the captain. We always got to make sure that we're the best looking in the room.
Well, I come through raggedy because that's just how it is, keeping it real. But so yeah, I'm voting for Cooper. I don't care what nobody got to say. Politics as usual. We are having real conversations with real people, and we keeping it real. But this is what I've been seeing though. People, I think in South Carolina, there were some people that I guess on their ballot they just circled that they're doing a straight Democratic ticket, and it was messing up, like it wasn't counting their ballot. Now, I never really paid attention to a ballot because I always go and circle everybody's name. I didn't know that you can circle and say like straight Democrat.
We don't have that option in North Carolina.
So in states, certain states. I know for North Carolina, it got removed. I believe. I think it was Republicans now.
That was the first thing the Republicans did in 2010 is did away with straight ballot.
You can't vote the straight ticket anymore.
Right.
That's good because I was like, that's crazy. And so I like going down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print out my ballot, circle everybody's name that I want to do. Because it may not be full Democratic ticket. Nick, you know me. I haven't supported a Republican for sheriff. So if if there happens to be someone that is on the other side that I feel aligns with my ideals, then that's who I'm gonna go vote for. But the word on the street is we gotta vote blue, the blue wave. So more than likely it's gonna be all blue. What's up, D?
What's really good, everybody? Yo, this has been a hell of a day.
Tell us about it.
Bruh, it's just day, like trying to help people with politicking. I'm organizing some stuff with the noobs during the work. And I don't know if y'all have saw it or not, but like 200,000+
I just told
people have like voted already. That is amazing. And all kinds of positive like adjectives that I want to use.
They said lines, the one down here, one of my friends, she waited in line for 3 hours. She got there at 8:15 and waited in line for 3 hours here in New Bern, right downtown.
It's a 3-hour wait, lots of places. I've heard it was 3-hour wait in Greenville.
We had 6 hours.
6 hours? I don't
The
know if
heck?
I'm that strong, y'all. That's too damn long.
Bring a lawn chair.
Especially if you're curbside voting for here. If you was curbside voting, it was a longer wait.
Wow.
Well, what about people that's like, I'm not necessarily handicapped, but I really can't be walking and on my feet.
You have to curbside vote or take you a lawn chair.
Get you a lawn chair and a Gatorade.
And then they have some what I know we're doing here is we doing what's them pole sitters. So if you got to go to your car and take a break, I'll give you like my card with my number or whatever. I'll stand in your place.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Pole sitters? They is pulling out all the stops for this election, yo, for real.
Got to.
That's a new one. I ain't gonna lie on that.
Yo, I'm gonna be like, listen,
because people can't stand in those lines any kind of way. You know, people just can't stand there. And let alone like in certain communities, people don't really have the money to go buy a $20 lawn chair versus using their $20 to get gas to go vote.
Right, that's true.
So
I've been seeing so many different videos on Facebook, and this one video, it was from a HBCU, and they had the line, the guy was dancing, and the whole, I guess they all voted together. I was cracking up. I said, we is doing the most for 2020. Like we out here ignorant to go.
In 2008, I marched 1,200 people across campus at North Carolina Central University to go vote, early voting. If that was 2008, we got to do more in 2020. Yeah. I'm expecting to hear 2,000, 3,000 kids marching across campus, even though I take that back. We're in COVID. Nah, don't.
Put your mask on.
Put your mask on.
But let me tell you now. We were showing up out in them streets when social unrest was going on. I'm just put your gloves on, put you some long sleeves on, make sure you hydrated and get you some gloves.
Yeah.
Don't contact your skin.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta
stay out of people's faces.
Yeah. So what are they doing at the voting booth? Are they wiping down the voting booth every time somebody touch it?
I haven't voted yet.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna have to ask that. What you say?
I said that is a good question. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to somebody carrying some Clorox wipes with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that if they're doing that because that makes sense.
So another thing that we're giving out is, and it's in the car. I don't think I have one with me. Another thing we're giving out is the North Carolina Black Alliance is giving out PPE kits. Comes in an envelope and comes with a pair of gloves, a mask, a pen, and a wet nap, alcohol wet nap.
Wow, that is dope.
That's good stuff.
It's interesting you say that. I just tagged LA. I was like, if you're free, you should just join us and tell us what y'all are doing to keep us safe.
Oh, okay. Well, send them the link.
Yeah.
Yo, that is dope, actually. That's really dope. So I need gloves in my own pen and a mask, you saying, when I go vote?
Yes.
Wild.
Hold on, I'm about to go try to find mine. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's wild. That's the times we're living in. Like, you literally have to have PPE on to go vote.
Yeah. It could be worse. We could be trying to get, fight some damn German shepherds and some goats and some hoses right now.
Right.
Just being real.
You are.
But it's unprecedented times. But I mean, think about it. We ain't getting our ass whooped. We ain't getting arrested. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit, and it's a little bit of convenience, but I mean, it can be done, and it's got to be done if we're gonna ever have like a piece of a chance, say in our future.
Right. I mean, I agree. So since we last talked, the president had COVID, which I don't know about that whole situation. I know COVID is real, and I don't know about that situation. I just think like we have someone in the White House that is just disrespectful, arrogant, ignorant. I mean, I don't even have enough words in the dictionary to explain how I feel about that man. And it's like he doesn't even care about people enough to at least want to campaign safely. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense. And then you see how on Biden's campaign, two people in their campaign called it and they came right out and said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why it's so hard to be honest. Like they treat COVID like it's AIDS or STD. I mean, I know that it's you know, I haven't caught it. And I know people probably feel like, dang, I caught COVID, like it's a bad thing. But I mean, it's a cold. It's a really, really, really bad cold. I feel like you know what I'm saying? Some people don't survive. And that sucks. But people need to take it serious. And I just feel like if we have the man in 45 in office and he's not taking it serious, why
Now
would
his son has it.
His son
yes.
had it, and look at his base. Like, not even being partisan, but I mean his base and some of our Republican friends, whatever he says is law,
Yeah.
right, without question. So that's why you'll see. Y'all know me. I keep it nonpartisan, and I love to watch the presidential travel. So I have Fox News alerts, so I watch him whenever he's traveling to every single rally.
Mhm.
But legit, you look at these rallies, it's thousands and thousands of people without a mask, like shoulder to shoulder, like it's not even real. So it's kind of sort of like, yeah, your base is listening to you, and they not gonna get helicopter rides on, Marine One to one of the best hospitals and have 16 doctors on them 24/7. Just
Right.
saying.
Right.
And
So I went to the car and got this out. So this is from the North Carolina Black Alliance, right? And it's a part of their voter safety protection campaign. So in it comes this little card that gets you to start thinking about how you're gonna go vote, right? It gives you the dates of when you can what's the last day to request an absentee ballot, last day to voter registration, early voting, and election day, right? Gives you COVID-19 guidelines to follow and a little checklist on voting, right?
Okay.
You have your mask, you have a pair of gloves,
Wow.
you have a pen, a Black Alliance pen, and you have an alcohol wipe.
Wow.
nice.
So yeah, we are handing these out at the polls. It's free. All you have to do is fill out a card, just so we can have that we actually gave it to somebody, and we just wasn't giving them out. But they've been really pushing them towards the churches. And this is a partnership with Disability Rights North Carolina and Equality North Carolina. And Black Alliance created pretty much this platform. So these, if you want, and I'll send y'all the link. If people scan this QR code, it'll take them right to the site, and you can request some of these.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'll make sure I send this to y'all and put it in the comments of the video.
Some of those and bring them down to our early voting stations. I think that's awesome.
And I could probably see if I can ship you some.
Look at you, Queen. That's what I'm talking about. Networking. And that's essentially how it's supposed to be. Like, we got to be looking out for each other. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just feeling bad for like all the elders that are going to vote and might not do curbside because they don't have a vehicle. They're getting dropped off possibly. And they got to stand in them lines. It's so long. Like, but it's worth it. I mean, I'm ready to get to November 3rd because I need to know, before I close my eyes, some sort of prediction, you know what I'm saying, of, who's going to win. I'm praying that Biden comes through because we need some new management.
My prediction is it's going to be a long night again. I mean, if you remember 2016, I closed my eyes and went to sleep and got into bed and then woke up and 45 was elected.
That's gonna be the worst for me. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna have to stay up. I know that Thursday, if everyone is still wanting to do it, not that Thursday, but on November 3rd, after the polls closed in North Carolina, we were gonna hop on and kind of just talk and shoot the shit, as you would say, and see if we can predict if certain candidates are gonna flip the house or whatever, just for a little while, because we don't got nothing else to do except for watch the news and see what's going on. But I don't know. I'm excited and I'm nervous at the same time because it's a lot at stake, especially like our healthcare and
everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. And today was the last day to fill out your census. Did you fill yours out?
Yeah, They literally switched that on us so quick. I was like, what do you mean that it's the last day to do the census? Didn't y'all just extend it? They're like, nah, the administration flipped it. I'm like, they flipped it.
I know, like,
Not, I mean,
so let's talk about that too.
And the thing about it is, when I read the article, they were saying like they need enough time to be able to get the data together by December 31st. You have a whole November and a whole December. Why would you not be encouraging people to October 31st or extending it to October 31st? Because the more accurate the numbers is, the better the money is in each state.
That's the point, though.
That's the point.
They don't want the numbers to be good. They know that people that wait to the last minute to do the census are generally minorities, generally people that have lower socioeconomic status. And so they know that if those people don't complete the census, that more of the money can go to places that have higher socioeconomic status, that they can do what they want to in nice neighborhoods, and then because poor neighborhoods didn't do the census, they can be left behind again, as usual.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get both sides. I just think at some point in this world, before I hit 6 feet under, can we just have some sort of unity in anything that we can do? I mean, it's like, if we all just one people, we all have the same rights and the same opportunities. I mean, it's just frustrating. What was you going to say, Shakila?
No, I was saying, that was really frustrating to be like, I had literally just, this how I found out. I put a video out on Facebook saying, oh, I've been using my council members to do, express, make it personal, why it's important and why we need to be taken. So I had just put it up, and then I got a text message saying, girl, the census just changed today. And I said, since when? Since like 2 minutes ago. And so I hit it, and I was like, so what's the deal? And so we came up with a really quick plan. We've been at the polls all day getting people counted.
Oh,
and to hear how many people wasn't counted and standing in lines to vote was just like, well, what shit? Like we can't lose for not like, so you're gonna end it on the first day of early voting. Technically it was supposed to be ended on the last day of early voting. And as I thought about it more and more and more, that was the plan all along.
Do you think that they did a good job this year of advertising the census? Do you think they put a lot of commercials out on especially like urban networks and stuff? Or do you think they just did the bare minimum because they wanted the bare minimum?
No. I personally think they wanted the bare minimum. It wasn't until like the census started using organizations like NC Counts Coalition when you really start to see people get involved with the census.
Mm-hmm.
But then when COVID happened, everybody, like people didn't know like what to do. So had it been me, I think my first instinct would have been like, okay, well, let me go to Board of Elections, get constituent data, which is free and open to anybody. Mm-hmm. Let me pull some constituent data and start making these phone calls.
Right.
But I don't know why no one didn't think of that. I don't know.
Or at least doing something in your, like the newspaper or making flyers. I mean,
right.
Like you said, when there was demonstrations and protests out there, people was neck to neck and didn't have a problem. So, I don't think it would have been a problem for us to go door to door or just, because you can't really put anything in anybody's mailbox, but leave something out there for them to do the census. But I personally did not see a lot about it. I know on my platform as Alderwoman in New Business, like you hear me say, today is early voting. This is when it's over. Do your census. I always use my seat to advocate because one, we're on a little CTTV3, we're live on Facebook. And what I've done since the 100 days is every single day, and I get tired of doing it. We only got a couple more days left. I post at 11:03 because election is 11:03, and I just do different type of pop culture. And lately I just been saying vote and all that, but I make sure I tell them to fill out their census. So, I mean, I just feel like they didn't get the word out like they should have, but also, when things come in the mail, we have to do our due diligence and look at it. Like the census is important. Don't just look at it and throw it in the trash. And I think that's probably what a lot of people did. They were just like, it's not a check. So, it's more like a bill, and tossed it. And I think for us, I know where our percentages are down since 10 years ago. So I think we're like maybe 1 or 2% down on the numbers. So
Well, I think that one of the things that has to do with is the outreach on census. Is the outreach for census is generally a spring thing, and when it was time for outreach for census, we were in lockdown.
right.
And so now that sent organizations into a scramble in the middle of the election,
Right.
trying to get people to do the census and go early vote, and people's attention is only going to be attracted to so much.
Right. Right.
So it got lost in the sauce this year.
It did. So we just gonna pray that the numbers come up. But so have y'all been keeping up with the whole cancel Ice Cube thing? How you feel about that? Because they try to cancel Steve Harvey, and that's Uncle Steve. And I just feel I'm tired, because I understand why people will be frustrated. It feels like you're being a sellout. But if you can possibly bring some sort of educational information to this man, or try to sway a certain decision or thought process this way, and you have that opportunity, because you don't like him, do you say nah, or do you like, okay, for my people, I'm gonna give it a chance and give you this information and talk to you about this? I mean, because that's what I feel like Ice Cube did. He didn't endorse him. I just felt like, both parties asked and only one jumped, according to
honestly,
what the statement
my
was.
fault.
No, you're good.
No, I was just gonna say I hate the way that it's being perceived, but a lot of people are gonna look at it as surface value and not read deep into it. Because I admit I was one of them, because when I read the title, only thing I saw was Ice Cube was working with the Trump administration the whole time. But for me, when I looked into it and I saw that he went to both, I understand it. Because of course, with me being a lobbyist, a lot of times people question me like, why are you hanging with the Republicans so much? I'm like, because they have the power, and because them, and because I know I'm be welcome with the Democratic Party whenever I walk into a door.
Right.
So I understand that you gotta go, somebody's gonna win on November the 3rd. Well, it may not be November 3rd because of litigation that's forthcoming, but one of those two parties is gonna win. So I get it that you gotta go to both. I just wish that there was a way that it could have been said, hey, y'all, this is what I'm doing, because we got to go to both of them, because somebody's going to win. And, as Black people, and just being real, a lot of times we don't do research as into why. We just look at the surface and face value of what he did.
Right.
So for me, as a lobbyist and as a person that's had to do that and been asked, why are you doing so much with that party? I get it, because somebody's going to win. And again, Shaquila, y'all know me just as well as anybody. Any video I'm on, if you ain't at the table, you're on the menu.
Right.
And if you're going to be in the room, you got to be able to share that information. And, Trump is not stupid. He's seen what happened in Oakland and LA and all of that stuff back in the 1990s with NWA and the LA riots and everything like that. So he knows that this is a prominent figure that has very much relevancy on issues dealing with Black people like this. Now, my issue is, much like Steve Harvey, Ice Cube's a Black millionaire. So I'm not saying that he doesn't understand, a poor person's issues, but, it may not come off as, as pertinent as it would coming from a person that's, struggling to keep the lights on right now. But I get it. And my thing is,
at one point in time, he was in the struggle. And he was able to get lucky and get out of where he grew up and, create something for himself. So you got to get that as well, too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I hope that, when he walked in, he didn't have the millionaire mentality. He had like, I'm representing Black people from the millionaires all the way down to the minimum wage and to the food stamp people. Like, I'm representing everybody. This is a plan that's going to work for everyone. Here it is right here. So I'm hoping that that's what happened. And I'm hoping that, Trump administration, Biden administration, I hope both of them heard that. I heard it's like a $500 billion plan. It's called the Platinum Plan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they put that, I'm hoping that they at least, 250 billion or 300 billion is a lot better than no billion for these issues. So I appreciate the effort, just to say the least.
Well, I have to say that it is there are a lot of people that are trying to create this Black agenda that we're far behind. And I'm part of a group that started the party called Our Black Party. And with Dr. Wes Bellamy and a few other people, and we have the support of like Charlemagne the God, Angela Rye, P. Diddy. So and we knew about Ice Cube, we knew about Jay Morrison, and I just felt like we needed a solid plan. And so our agenda is basically, we want to get 1,000 Black people elected into office, obviously qualified by 2022, and we want to make sure that anybody can join our Black Party, but people have to understand that the mission is solely to get Black people elected and to get policy for Black people passed. And one of the policies is that we want every governor to have a position for it's a diversity and inclusion officer, because you need that. And I'm on the local level trying to get it in my area, because there's so many times that you have these municipalities that put things out in their marketing material and the projects that they do, and it's like, yo, y'all was not feeling the temperature in the room, you missed it. You don't have Black people in your marketing. You're not really doing any economic development in these Black communities. It's like we need a liaison to help them understand what needs are in our communities. So I was definitely in support of that. I think when Biden wins and gets in office, there's going to be a lot more diversity across the table, especially with our vice president. And I think that's important. Do I think that they're going to satisfy every need of a Black agenda? No. Do you think they're going to accomplish some things in 4 years? Hopefully, as long as we flip everything that we need to do to have the control. But it's going to be tough. For me, I feel like if Biden does win, it's going to be a tough 4 years.
Yeah, and honestly, I heard how Nick, how you were saying, you waited last year until midnight, or when the elections were happening. Every person of political scholarship that I have talked to does not believe that that's going to be the case this year. Because heaven forbid, if Trump loses, there is so much litigation that is about to happen. Like I've been studying this for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I've been working in it for 5. These attorneys have blown my mind away with what happens when there is a legitimately contested presidential election without a peaceful transfer of power. Like we're talking that it has to come back down to the states, like your state House of Representatives type of thing to go on. And I'm like, whoa.
What you mean by the states? Like the states?
So, sometimes I think the attorney had said he was somebody that worked for DC. Like apparently if a president believes that a state's votes don't count, it has to come back down to the House and they have to decipher how it happens. So I'm happy to do some more research on that myself, because that blew my mind away. So that'll definitely be something we could look at next time to discuss that. Yeah. But I can he already said if he loses, it's rigged. His followers again believe everything this man says. So of course, yeah. And not to mention, these little proud people that he done told to sit back and stand by. Right. And now they're saying if he loses, Civil War and all this other stuff. So it's kind of just a shit show.
Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think people are going to wild out crazy like that?
I hope to pray to God that people don't. Yeah. But a spirit in America has been awakened that is very much not tranquil. Right. When normally a president is calm and tranquil and professional at the least, and diplomatic, just to say it. But when you have a person who is sit back and stand by, and if we lose, it's rigged, good people on both sides, that type of thing.
Mhm.
What do you think his followers are going to say? And of course, we know a certain genre of people are not used to things not going their way.
Right.
And throughout history, when things don't go their way, you know, they makes it into the history books. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it does. I know. I'm locked and loaded. I'm so glad
Like,
that
I love the Second Amendment. We're good over here.
yes, it came. And I went and picked my concealed carry up because just in case somebody want to get a little froggy and jump over in this area, okay, I gotta protect the community that I live in, and I'm
And if
not
you
playing.
represent,
Huh?
you gotta protect the folk that you represent.
Yes, because I'm not even with the BS. Like, I feel like it's gonna be the purge. Like that movie was scary.
I kept saying.
You said that today.
Yes,
I
this
was
is
like,
how
I
the purge
feel like
starts.
it's getting ready to be the purge. And now I really want to go and watch that purge where it was like the election cycle because I've never
The
seen
last
it.
one.
That type of stuff.
You should definitely
scares me.
watch that one. That is my favorite one because it hits so close to home about the political apparatus that is in this state, and it
See, that
has so
scares
much
me.
relevancy to right now.
Mhm.
You should make that a movie night. I'll bring the
Watch that on
pizza.
November. That's what I said. We should do it on November 3rd.
That type of stuff scares me.
Yo, it is scary. Like I'm sitting there, like my eyes. I can plug my ears because I don't want to hear the scary sounds and watch it, or I will close my eyes and hear the scary sounds. So I'm a punk a little bit, but I don't care. But yeah, I know it's fitting to be crazy, and I'm glad.
Have you watched The Handmaid's Tale?
What's that about?
Handmaid's
You
Tale.
got to watch that.
You got to watch it.
Really?
Ooh.
Is
this,
it scary?
This also reminds me a lot of that. It's a Hulu. Is it Hulu or Netflix?
Yes,
It's on Hulu.
Hulu series.
Yeah, Hulu series. It's pretty much showing that the United States has been taken over by a force that is fundamentally conservative, but they use Christianity like in this obscure way. You just got to watch it.
Okay,
a lot of this reminds me of like all the ways that they said that it got to that point, the way that everything was shut down.
Oh, Aaron said the purge is on TV right now. That's my husband.
Legit, they've been playing the heck out of it. I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff about purge.
I think they're trying to like vex people.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, you could be on to something like that.
I really feel like they're trying to give people ideas.
Don't do it.
Media ain't shit, boy. They'll hype you up.
Y'all,
jump out.
Let me tell you something. As much as I really want to be in the polls on election day, I'm getting nervous about being at the polls on election day because I'm gonna tell you, I really feel like the Democrats are gonna show out in early voting because that's typically what they do. Mm-hmm. However, election day, it's gonna be a full circus.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy. And we're literally living through this nonsense. Like we've been through, our age have been through 9/11. You know what I'm saying? We've been through freaking, what's the disease that happened when Obama was in office?
Ebola,
swine flu, everything.
And swine, yep.
Yes. Then we got COVID.
Don't nothing phase us.
We got a celebrity.
If you're in Eastern North Carolina, you've been through several hurricanes.
God knows, don't even mention Eastern North Carolina.
Listen, tornadoes. A celebrity was elected to president, like in the presidency. I'm like, yo, this is. When I talk to my grandkids, I'm gonna be like, yes, this is real. Yes, grandma was around in this time. Like, these are I feel like our war stories because this right here is a hot mess, man. I hope anybody that's watching this, I don't care what you look like, please go vote. Please go vote. We need you to vote for real. In every single state, we need you to show out and vote because it is so important. Like, everyone's popping up and doing voting podcasts. I love it, because they're speaking to their demographic. I love, our last one, we hit 1.3K. We have great conversations, great talks, because that's what we're supposed to do. We love anybody to jump on and have a conversation with us and keep it real. But so listen, Nick, how do you feel about either candidate and their plan for education?
Well, speaking from the education perspective,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, we need everybody to go out and support pro-education candidates. Um, NCAE is coming out with our Apple cards within the next couple of days for early voting. If you see somebody at your polling place and they have a little red card shaped like an apple, get that, and that will tell you who the best people are for public education. Now, how do I feel about their plan for education? Well, I just feel like, honestly, and I haven't reviewed the federal plans extensively. Anything is better at this point than Betsy DeVos.
Good God.
You
I
ain't
mean,
even lied.
Yeah.
anything is better than Betsy DeVos. I mean, she has just generally been, I can't even say hands off, because it's just like a reversal on so many things. This woman essentially wants to do federal plans like our Republican state legislature has done here in North Carolina, with vouchers allowing kids to go to private schools with public funds.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't even sent a child to a public school. She hasn't been a teacher in a public school. This woman don't know anything about public schools, and she's over all public schools in the United States of America. What type of shit is that?
And
So
she's a billionaire.
And she's a billionaire. But with that said, I feel like Biden will take us back to some more Obama era policies around education, which weren't all great, but were better than what we have now.
Right.
Just around, I would definitely love to see some more funding around our mandates that we have. I think that we've done, how can I put it? They tried to do away with No Child Left Behind, but then they said, but here's a list of all these things that we want you to be able to do, and we're going to give you money if you do them. You don't have to, but if you want the money, then this is what you have to do. And that was with the Race to the Top funding. And Race to the Top left us in some precarious situations after you get towards the end of the Obama administration and into the Trump administration, because the Race to the Top funding ran out, and Betsy DeVos and the Trump administration did not renew any type of funding in that place. So that's the reason why you've seen so many school systems, especially here in the last 4 years, have funding deficits, having to lay off teachers, because the federal funding that was coming from the federal government, the state governments, to fund extra positions through Race to the Top, it disappeared. The last time you got that money was 2016. And the only way to battle that, especially in North Carolina, even though they say, oh, we're going to do away with it, and they give us an exemption on it every year, but some school systems went ahead and said, let's go ahead and follow the K-3 class size mandate, which K-3 class size mandate said that you couldn't have any more than 15 kids in a kindergarten class, any more than, I want to say it's 18 in first and second, and no more than 19 or 20, or maybe 21 in third. And so that meant that you had to hire way more teachers to teach grades K through 3 than you did in any other grades, but they didn't fund it. So of course, federal money, Race to the Top funding, was around whenever North Carolina said, let's put this into action.
Right.
And now the funding's gone. So
that kind of reminds me of like the lottery money. They say it's supposed to go to the schools or the education system. Why are y'all not getting paid good money? Do you know the millions and millions and millions of dollars that people spend every single day for the lottery? Like, I want to know where does that money go?
Lottery funding is supposed to go to capital projects.
It goes to like building schools. So I used to represent like a lobbying company that I lobbied for that was involved in lottery. So I used to sit on all these, and they go towards building schools, not anything outside of building a school is not their purview.
But how many schools need to be built? I know they got some extra money. I think we got enough schools. We need more teachers.
It's the way the law is written. So if we wanted to change what the money went to, we'd have to get them to change the law. Now, the problem is at the moment, the Republicans, quote unquote, don't want the lottery to begin with, but it's so popular they wouldn't dare touch it. So with that being said, they're not going to do anything to it because they don't want it in the first place.
That's crazy.
And remember how the budget happened last year whenever like half of the Democrats weren't there? That's how the lottery was established. So there's still a lot of bad blood about that happening.
So the Democrats ran up on them with the lottery like
Yeah.
that to get a vote?
Yeah, that's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
Well, I guess payback is a biatch. Nick, someone named Ethan Alexander Smith said, please post the Apple Card on Facebook when it drops.
Will do. Thank you, Ethan.
So is it card or cart?
It's a card. It's a little card. It's a card you pass out at the polling place. And I just asked earlier this evening about the digital cards, and when we get the digital cards, we'll post them.
Yeah, because our school board is up this year. So,
and see, here's a lot of thing. Here's the thing, though. We've got to make sure in this era that we're in this era of movement and growth and building, that we're not leaving behind our educators. Here's the battle I fight daily, being an educator and being an activist. Mm-hmm. The way that North Carolina,
black male educator, rare,
okay. Right? That part, but the activism part is that for so long, because of, first off, we say, people like to say, oh, they don't have unions in the South. It's not that we don't have unions. The South is not organized. Mm-hmm. And so on top of that, we have laws in place that have forbid public employee unions. So if you're a state employee, you can't have collective bargaining rights. Mm. However, you can have organizations that represent you, such as NCAE, Illinois County Association of Educators, which, as I've said before, I'm president of. We've got to make sure that we're empowering our educators to make their voices heard about their careers and about their profession, because for so long people have been scared to speak up and say anything. Mm-hmm. So if teachers, because people say, I've heard many teachers say, well, I'm scared to say anything because I might get fired. Well, there's a couple things. You've got a contract and you've got a Bill of Rights as an employee. Okay. Mm-hmm. And while in North Carolina, those two things are flaky, we've got to get out of this idea that because I'm an educator and I'm a public employee, that they can just fire me for anything.
Right.
Nothing will change.
Work for Will State in North Carolina.
Say what now?
Even though we're work for Will.
Even though we're work for Will, being a public school employee gives you've signed a contract. So we do have an individual contract with our school systems. They just can't fire you unless you've done, not just for anything. Okay. They can't fire you for speaking out about your profession. That's what people feel, that if I speak up, I'm going to get fired. Or if I speak up, I'm going to have retribution. If I speak up, they're not going to treat me right. Mm-hmm. And I've looked at people and said, man, if you don't get your head out your ass and say something, right. Because guess what? You stick your head up your ass and think, oh, everything's fine, nothing's wrong, we're all going to be okay. I know teachers now that have died of COVID from this idea of, we're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I'm not going to say nothing because I'm scared.
I don't even understand, honestly, my viewpoint. And Demetrius, you had something to say?
No, I was just going to say, with the whole Betsy DeVos thing, if people decide to vote in a new president, you get a new Secretary of Education. However, if you keep the same one that we have now, you're going to possibly keep Betsy DeVos. Yeah. Like, just, again, that's why I tell you, it's more than just the name. It's like a gang of people that come behind that.
Right. So there's a whole bunch of people finna lose their job.
Literally, you're talking about an administration. When Trump came in, he fired even the custodians in the White House.
Shut up.
Like, yeah, they don't keep very rarely do they keep people like from administration to administration. Like, Yeah.
I would hate
They
to
clean
get a job
house.
working in the White House and only have it for 4 years. That's crazy, but that's
Enjoy while you got it.
yeah. But what I was saying was that I just feel, and it may, be stupid, but I just feel like they should have canceled school for the whole year. Like we're in a pandemic. We do not know what is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the government has enough money to push us through at least to the end of the year, or at least until we get out of the cold season, because now we're starting to flare back up with COVID cases. And then you had the one man, the 25-year-old man that got infected with COVID. It's like, it sounds stupid, but I feel like there'll be less stress. You know what I'm saying? The government give us more than $1,200 a month, cancel rent, you know what I'm saying? Cancel mortgages, like common sense. We don't know the outcome. Even when Biden gets in office, we don't know the outcome. Why? Do you know these kids are going to be set back to, I feel, even more because they're virtual? Do you understand the stress I deal with my little 5-year-old daughter? She's intelligent, but she's frustrated. She's tired of looking at an iPad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating for these kids that this is how they have to learn. It's like, yo, take a year off. Take a year off. We're going to be all right. And any senior, any 11th grade that was going to be a senior, go take a GED. If you pass, we're going to give you a high school diploma if you ain't want to wait the year. But I think that would alleviate a lot of stress on parents, on teachers, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what is going to happen. And that is the craziest part. Like, again, we don't know what's fitting to happen with COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and another reason why it's so important, we've got to go to these polls and elect people that believe in science.
Right. Yes.
I mean, faith without works is dead. And at the moment, our works is science. Right. So with that being said, from our school boards to our county commissioners to everyone, we need people that believe that the science is real and that just aren't deniers about COVID. I mean, if you listen to the gubernatorial debate last night, this man literally stood on the stage and pretty much said that, Well,
you was about to say something else, I felt like. Demetrius, did you feel it? I felt like you was
I felt it. I saw when the head went back. I was like, oh God.
I was like, yo, you about to drop the female dog? Yo, my chest. Oh God. I was like, nigga getting raw. Go ahead, bro. Speak your truth.
Signs out.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
He went on stage and pretty much said, we can do both. And he said it so smugly. We can do both. We got to get back to our lives. We got to protect people. How can we protect people if we don't protect everyone, if everyone's not taking precaution?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, like, I know how we say it's so important, but people that take COVID seriously, yo, COVID is on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, COVID is on the ballot. And if you vote for 45, you're going to end up like some of these people. You go ahead and walk around with no mask on. You feel me? Mm-hmm. It is not a game. This ain't a scrimmage. This is the real deal. Like, you have to protect yourself. And that's why I like what Councilwoman Ingram showed us with the little, the care kits. Yo, be prepared when you go to these voting booths. Be prepared. If you got to be in a whole
hazmat,
right, a whole hazmat suit, do what you got to do, but make sure you vote, because if you see it on Facebook, on TV, on Twitter, on Instagram, they are doing so much to suppress the vote. And we got to just prove to them that we could be, who was it? Atlanta, Georgia, people was in line for 11 hours.
Yeah.
11 hours.
What was that? The primaries? That was.
I thought that was just recently. Didn't early voting start for Atlanta or no?
Oh, this was recently, because I know primaries was train wreck in Georgia.
No, early voting started day before yesterday in Georgia.
11 hours.
11 hours.
Wow.
People waiting in line 6 hours.
They had the issue. I know primaries in Georgia was a straight up train wreck. And I thought that at least, well, wow, I didn't know it was 11 hours.
And then wasn't it in Georgia where, or something about the last day to voter register, the machine was accidentally cut.
And then all of a sudden yesterday a cord was cut and messed up the elections.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it makes, like, come on, seriously.
I don't believe in coincidences of that caliber.
And they losing mail-in ballots, or they put in different the boxes. I don't trust none of them boxes. If you vote by mail, bring it straight down. Really, you ain't voting by mail. If you want to use your vote by mail because you don't want to stand in the line, well, you're gonna have to stand in your line to go drop the ballot off. So you might as well go vote.
Literally.
I'm not gonna mail. They keep sending them, and I keep ripping them up. My husband's like, "So you're not keeping it?" No, we're physically going down there. I want to physically do it, so I know that I filled it out, and I wanted to go through and say accept it, and I want to get my damn sticker. Like, I'm physically.
Are they even giving out stickers? Everybody been talking about they ain't giving out stickers and giving ink pens.
You give out pens. They're not giving out stickers this year.
What's a pen?
A regular ink pen, like the little dollar store things. That's what you get.
Yeah, you getting your voting pen that you used to vote.
No, I saw people with stickers.
Everybody ain't getting stickers.
Everybody's not doing stickers. That's a touch point.
But if you going to vote, you getting a pen. That's all.
Nick, ours locally, they did something with the schools where the kids got to design it, and whoever won is what the sticker is going to be. They had it for future voters, and I voted. So that's why I was like, oh, I want to, see. They were making these stickers.
Maybe Craven County is giving out stickers, but I know places that are not giving out stickers.
That's the least they can do is give out a damn sticker. Shit.
At least, but think about how much money that probably costs. And I don't know, you're gonna spend money. I'm like, the least you could do is give us the sign, like the sticker, like we normally get.
Right. And then I think it should be the responsibility on the Board of Elections to have some sort of kit themselves. You know what I'm saying? They got money. Where's the water? Where's the little Board of Education or Board of Elections folding chairs? Or, if you're an elder and you show that you're an elder, you get to skip the line. We got to be creative.
Here's my question, and here's my concern. I love that packet that was shown to us with the masks and the gloves, but with all this COVID funding's going out, and this is an election year, why is that not being provided through the Board of Elections?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Why didn't some of that COVID funding go towards that? That would have been
perfect.
Right. That's a good question too. And honestly, it's been so long since I read the CARES Act. I don't even remember if the money was able to be used for that purpose, honestly.
They said the money could be used for utilities. It could be used for, resources for COVID, like, with daycare, people with passing out food. But I feel like some of that money could have went. The county could have given some of that money to the Board of Elections, or not the county, the state Board of Elections, because early voting, you have just those locations, and ours in New Bern, Craven County. The only one we have in New Bern, I think, is downtown New Bern. But I guess
I thought somewhere that y'all had two though, Jamisha.
I think we did. It is
Bern Square.
Yes, That's a new one. That's a new one, because that wasn't there before.
Right.
It's usually downtown, but I feel like it has to deal with the administration at these buildings too. Like, if they, why haven't they asked, hey, should we be doing some PPE kits, or, we got funding, or, let's be creative, or let's figure out how we're going to make it so people ain't waiting in these lines, or it all depends on the people in these positions. That person is, I think Melanie is hired. Isn't she hired, Nick? Yeah. Okay. Well, having these administrations and people hiring people that have people at the forefront and not dollars. And I'm not saying Melanie is, I'm just, putting it out there. I just feel like with everything going on, you have to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z, especially with COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and honestly, we need to talk about security. And I just got a message right then, like somebody had a knife pulled on them today. A council member had a knife pulled out on them.
Was it Quentin?
Jesus Christ.
Where
Like,
he at anyway?
somebody bless him.
Yeah.
But literally, I'm like, yo, this is right ridiculous. You just pulled a knife on a council member.
That's crazy.
Somebody
Like,
pull
bruh.
me, I'm going viral. You hear me?
Yes.
Nah, they ain't gonna live to tell about that one.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna catch these hands quickly.
Hands, nah.
But
That's what we
my,
got the
This day
Second
and
Amendment
age where
for.
you already got you have what plots to kidnap governors?
oh my.
A white governor. Like,
Who
this
white
is
governor?
unheard of.
Because
A white, pretty female governor. They are not playing by the rules.
Ralph Northam too.
Yes. Yes. It was a white male governor
Oh,
too.
Virginia, yeah, Ralph
I
Northam.
think it's all plots. I think I just think it's just to keep us distracted from what the main goal is, and that's to get 45 out of office. Every day until November 3rd is gonna be something stupid that pops up on your social feed.
I swear.
on
But
your-
listen, have y'all been following the hearing?
yes.
Yeah,
And I'm so mad
Today?
that they have to keep pointing out that this broad has 2 black children. Man, if you don't kick rocks with that bullshit,
I mean, nothing to me.
right?
And the way she introduced them, I'm like, am I the only person that heard it?
Especially when she said the N-word does not mean that you're being harassed or
hostile rap. Yeah,
No,
Yo,
he
are
did
you
not grab the
kidding?
microphone and say it.
he sure
Are you
did.
kidding me? Is the mic on? Seriously. And they're about to try and vote this lady in? Hell no.
It's crazy. Like,
For a lifetime. She young. You
Yeah.
feel me? But are you kidding me? It's like, what is wrong with people? I don't get it. Are we on the same planet?
people just aren't grasping this. Like, and again, honest and truly, even after November 3rd, I'm taking upon myself that, because, we got another election, in 2 years.
We
I'm
got
using
election in next year.
next year.
Me and Janisha gonna be running like crazy next year.
Well, look,
Well,
I'm gonna
in
do
a few
everything in my
months,
power to
kinda.
educate people. Because honestly, we cannot keep waiting until like right before elections to try to like educate people. It's got to be an ongoing process. And I'm already a professor, and I'm about to just be teaching my ass off. Because like honestly, this isn't something that everybody knows, but it's got to be, because we spend so much time this time of year saying, okay, here's what this person does. Here's why it's important to vote. What if we were like the other people on the other side and inherently knew anytime a ballot is handed out, we know we need to get our asses there. The same way the lines are long right now for presidential, it's the same way the lines need to be long for Blue Moon, which means nobody on the presidential ticket is there, but your state legislators are, and your local people are. And again, they are the people that it hurts. Like when they pass some stuff, you're gonna feel that immediately.
Right.
Like that's what I'm gonna say this on my dying breath. Like, bruh, those local elections, that's where it's at.
Yes, it is.
Because you're talking about minimum wage and all this other stuff, marijuana legalization. Like, there is so much that comes down to the local and state government. Like, no disrespect to the president and the Congress, because they do what they can, but look how long that takes. Look how long it took the CARES Act to get done.
Yeah.
Here, they can vote on something tomorrow,
The
and
hope.
you gonna feel that.
Governor Cooper just did the hope.
Yeah, he just did the whole project.
I'm fitting not to pay my rent just so I can go ahead and get that little rent stipend.
We gonna be behind.
But I mean, dang, why we gotta be behind on utilities and on rent?
I just posted it not too long ago.
It's crazy.
I was like,
they pass the budget. They make these different grants, but then you have to go down the street, around the corner, up the block, go to the gas station, go to Walmart, go to Food Lion, go to Piggly Wiggly, and then if you did all that, you can get your money. They make it so hard for people to get this money. It's like you just give up. You ever go through a job application and they want to give you that damn personality test, and it's about 100 questions. Would you ever steal from your job? No. Like, that's how I feel. It's like you have to go above and beyond just to get a little help, and they know that we're all struggling. Like, Just let me apply, give me my money, let me pay my rent and keep it moving. It's that simple. We have the money in the bank. We do. But
And we do. Like every year, the budget for North Carolina is hovering around $24 billion.
that's crazy.
Like 24 billion. You know how much, like Jamisha, we sent like what? Let's say 15 million across the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
What could we do?
A lot.
Like 15 million to a $24 billion budget.
I think we could do a lot with 15 million on our side of the tracks. You don't
Legit.
think?
Heck yeah.
That's
and Shaquilla, in your area, Fayetteville, where it's cheap to live, 15 million to a black community.
Cheap to live for who?
I'm about it. It's better than Raleigh.
Let me tell you something. True. But what these people here do is they'll jack the prices up simply because they know Fort military is here and they know military will pay the prices, which creates a bigger gap of poverty, a bigger pool of poverty for people who just live and work here.
Yeah, that's true.
So cheap for who?
Yeah. Well, we know you got that councilwoman money, so you know I see you with all your plants and stuff behind you. So you live in large. You live in large enough to have a little aloe plant behind you, just in case you get stung by a mosquito or something.
Y'all see my celery I'm going growing?
And look at you growing celery. You live in the good life.
Who grows celery?
Celery.
I gotta see that when it's done. I've never seen something.
I've been so scared to buy produce out of the stores.
Really?
I've been having to go to the country to my great uncle's and aunt's house to get produce.
Really?
Wow. People be touching and sniffing and putting it down and
I'm OCD too.
Not me. I mean, I'm OCD. Like, I don't like to get the first box. I'll go.
Nah, grab from the back.
But like vegetables and stuff, we're gonna have to rinse it off and then hope, God got me. That's all I can say. Because even though COVID is real, I don't want to continue to live in fear. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the people I'm around that I trust, I'm like, I know they won't bring nothing to my house. You know what I'm saying? And they know that I respect them enough that if I have an ounce of tickle in the throat, nose is running, that I'm not gonna bring myself to their house. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going on. But again, COVID is real, and you just, you got to be prepared, especially at the polls.
Exactly.
Fill out your census. It's only 8:18. The president, well, I don't like calling him president. 45. But why and Biden is having a town hall debate. While you watching that, go ahead and sign up for your census. For real, we need funds in Craven County immediately.
But why did they say the census ends 11:59 Hawaii time? That was like,
because that's the last.
What's
like for us? It's like 5 something in the morning.
Yeah, I was about to say normally California is 3 hours behind us, so
you on the 16th at 5 a.m. or was it 5 a.m. on the 15th?
Who wrote this damn rule? That's the question.
Who did that? That's stupid.
But that's the last time zone.
What you say, Nick?
That's the last time zone, though.
Is it?
They're the last people to turn to 12 o'clock the next day.
So then it's really the 16th in the morning for us then.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Okay.
But again, why would you even end it early?
That's the whole point. Why end it early? Just
if you got to do all this just to cover your tracks, bro, just let it run. Damn. Like literally, you could have ended it on, like, honestly and truly, in all fairness, what you could have done was just end it on November the 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
Like literally, end it on November the 4th. That takes care of everything. Elections are done, census is done. That makes sense. But now you got people confused. We done had lawsuits. We don't know what the heck we do because we're engaged. But I mean, try to tell this junk to the people that are not as politically astute as we.
Yeah, you was breaking up.
My fault.
You was.
We need census. You need census money because your internet is trash in Raleigh.
That comes from your legislature too. I just got finished talking about that.
Oh, excuse us. What was you about to say, Shaquilla?
I halfway forgot, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so I was talking. He's like November 4th because and then that makes good sense, right? because they have a deadline to get everything counted and turned over, right? Mm-hmm. We won't know who the president is on November 4th.
No, hell no.
Anyway, so we probably won't know who the president is by the end of the year, probably.
So I'm with you on that one. And the ignorant thing is like, yo, when he challenges, don't they have to count these ballots by hand?
Mm-hmm. If it's contested, because honestly, you don't. On January the 6th is when they have a congressional meeting with Vice President Mike Pence about the actual results. And you still, even after, and y'all know I'm a nerd for this. Y'all know I love to read. Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking at it now. From November 5th to December the 12th, those are the deadlines that vary by state for the election results. So literally, we might not know who the president is until damn near Inauguration Day.
That's crazy. Yeah,
that's January the 20th.
Like, yo, that, the picture of Obama and Trump when they had to talk to each other and do the changeover. We not fitting to see Trump and Biden. Like, it's gonna be, he's like, I'm not doing nothing. They're gonna have to drag him out of there.
I would just pay money to see that. This is
going to be comical.
Oh, it's gonna be on TV. Watch.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be news.
Yo, when I was sitting in the hospital listening, because y'all know I had my surgery and some complications. I was in there from October 2nd to Wednesday. I forgot, maybe the 8th. And all I had on, Aaron was tired of me, was the damn news. And I'm just listening to 30 people from his cabinet caught COVID. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. Like, that right there within itself, people are seeing that we lost so many Americans. You know what I'm saying? We lost so many Americans to this virus, and he is careless. It's like, how can you vote for someone that basically is putting your life at risk? He don't care about you.
But you gotta remember,
open all the states up. Yes,
this is base.
Go eat, go to school. COVID isn't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the sad part about it. Like you said, Nick, we need people that believe in science. You can have faith and believe in science at the same time.
That base, though, like, literally, if you just base whatever he says they believe, and they think that presidential care is what they gonna get, because he keeps saying, I told all my doctors to make sure that, if any of my people catch it, I'm going to make sure they get the same care. I'm like, bruh, can't nobody ride on Marine One but you.
Right.
Can't nobody afford, like, bruh, we haven't even made healthcare like universal.
Right.
Like, you got people out here that are scared as hell to even catch the flu or a cold. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you talking about like a pandemic sickness? Mm-hmm. And not to mention, and not to be partisan, but you're trying to cut the ACA right now, my dude, without anything in place and pre-existing conditions.
And I'm worried about that because I have a pre-existing condition now.
Yeah, majority of Black people do.
Yeah, that you ain't lying.
Just by genetic.
Like, literally.
Just by genetic.
And what does that come from? Science, who certain people don't listen to, but we just work here.
Yeah, basically, we just out here trying to advocate for you to go vote.
Seriously. Like, literally.
And like, yo, do your research. It is so easy. What was the website that we was going to? What is it? Ballot? I keep forgetting.
I thought it was Voter Ready.
Vote Ready.
Voter Ready, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, where it breaks down their platform, on what they're, running for. And just please do your homework. Don't go to the polls and the people outside with the little piece of the paper with the name circled. That's who you vote for. No, when you vote, you need to know who you're voting for and why you're voting for them. Period. Like,
exactly.
Period.
Making a family meeting, like legit. I have already asked every family member that I have, "Are you good? Do you have a single question about anybody's name that is on that damn ballot or what they do?"
Right.
Like, legit.
I know one thing I do hate, though. I hate that there's a lot of seats that are uncontested, on the Republican side. And it's like, why? It's like Democrats are scared to run.
It's because it's not that we're scared, not that Democrats are scared to run. It's that the way that the districts are cut, the Republican is going to win anyway.
Yeah.
So
Which
it
comes from
down
your
to,
census. Damn, I'm
right.
sorry. I got
Go
mad
ahead.
again.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
put the plug in. Put the plug in. It comes down to the.
It comes down to your census. Your census determines economic development, where the money goes to, how the districts are drawn.
And
Damn.
they're getting redrawn next year.
They're going to
But-
get redrawn. North Carolina is a staple for this. The Brookings Institute in DC, when I was there, they said, oh, great, you're from North Carolina. We use y'all for studies all the time on what not to do when drawing your state lines. Is it rocket science or is it just us?
Let's have a quick civics lesson.
Go ahead.
Charlotte had their meeting about redistricting today, their council.
Go ahead.
Quick civics lesson. Packing, stacking, and cracking. That's what it's called. Packing, stacking, cracking.
Oh my God.
No, this is serious. No, this is in the civics book. When I taught civics, I actually taught this.
Really?
Pack all in the way they gerrymander. So we know gerrymandering. The way you gerrymander is you pack all the black people or all one group, maybe all Democrats, maybe all Republicans, whoever. You pack all of them in a district, leaving all the rest of the districts around it to be up for grabs by another political party or another group. Stacking, that's where pretty much the same thing. Packing and stacking are pretty much the same thing, but cracking is where you divide a group or a community to diminish their power. All right. So you got to think about it. Even though the census is a powerful part of it, it also goes into play who you put in office, because those are people that are in charge of creating the maps.
Yeah.
So right now we're at a disadvantage because we have a group of people in office who have put in play packing, stacking, and cracking.
Now, on a local level, who's responsible for that? Isn't it the municipality that's that draws the lines?
No, well, for municipal elections, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
y'all determine where the wards are.
right.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you what I also learned, because we had in our work session, I guess it was last Monday, we went ahead and started talking about redistricting, and we learned that our staff was trying to get us to talk about if we wanted to go ahead and put out an RFP for a consultant, so that we can be ahead of the game, right? Better to have one than to get there and realize we got census back and there's disparities, and now we need one, right?
That's a good idea.
So,
I'm about to bring that up at my next board meeting.
Yes, definitely, because you may, and it may not be anything different with the census information, but you also may want to just clean up your district lines. And so
the district lines that we have here in New Bern are stupid.
Same here.
Oh my God. Like, I'm in the area and then across the street is literally another ward. Like Ward 2 is a majority black ward, and everybody around, I touch everybody's ward. I mean,
districts in New Bern and in Craven County are the perfect example of packing, stacking, and cracking.
Yes.
Even down to not only the school district. I'm not talking about the elections, but actually where kids attend school at.
Right.
That is definitely packing, stacking, and cracking.
It's like they compound poverty. And if you're somebody with a voice that calls them out on it, you're a young, loud black woman, angry, aggressive black woman, because I'm vocal about what goes on in my community.
Anytime you interrupt the status quo, you're always going to be labeled in the local level.
Listen, they was too through with me. I was in the hospital with no pain medicine because I didn't want to be groggy on this special call meeting. And I gave them hell. I was like, no, we're going to use some of this CARE Act money. We're going to put $50,000 aside so that nonprofits can directly impact communities that have been impacted by COVID. I'm sitting there like, yo, really? Do I really got to beg y'all for $50,000? But honestly, I hung up that phone. It was like, I cannot stand her.
But honestly, and that's the thing, like a lot of people don't know your money that you got from the CARES Act has to be spent by the end of December. If
Yes.
not, it goes back.
Right.
And then of course, you got audits, so you got to say where it went to.
Yeah.
But again, like if the general public knew y'all were sitting on X numbers of $100,000 or $1 million or something like that, and they found out that not a dime of it went to the Black community.
Right. We got $450,000, and to me, I felt like they wanted to be able to use it as a cushion if sales tax didn't come through because of all the effects from COVID. But when we got our update, we really didn't suffer any. So what are you doing with this money? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why. And that's what I said to him. Why are we not utilizing this money to directly impact communities that are impacted by COVID? Looking stupid. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we have to fight so hard for some scraps. And so and listen, when it gets posted, I'm telling every nonprofit I know, please sign up in New Bern for this money. It's $1,000. That $1,000 to go help, whether you're doing after school care, you're doing, during school care, or churches, everybody. They need to get this money because that's what that money's there for.
Well, I mean, and at the end of the day, that's what capitalism is. Capitalism gives scraps to the workers.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We are the working class, and that's what our government in times of need tries to give us, scraps.
How would you feel if 45 wins again?
I'm sorry. What was that question? My fault. I just got a text about President Trump's town hall thing going on.
I told you what's going on. I said, what would you do if 45 is reelected?
And that's the interesting thing. What can you do?
Nothing. So,
but the biggest thing for me and what I told all my brothers at Kappa, I'm like this, no matter how November turns out, life is gonna go on. But I want people to be able to look and say, did I put forth a good effort that benefits myself and my community?
I think it is going to be a lot of people across the country in tears. And I think it's going to be
hurt people.
And when the data comes out about, how it's broken down by party, race, gender, it's going to be a lot of conversations. I know when I get the information, if, 45 wins, I'm breaking it down. And I'm coming for people like why didn't we? You know what I'm saying? Black people, why didn't you get out and vote? Black men, Black women, you know what I'm saying? Why did you, minorities, why did you not get out and vote? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I need to know why, because the excuse for me of, neither one of these candidates, no, just like they said, the Lakers and the Heats was playing. Your team was not in there. So were you rooting for your team? No, you had two teams that you were watching. Only one was going to win. And that's how I feel like at the end of the day, suck it up, Buttercup, and circle somebody's name, go down the ballot and circle everybody's name and keep it moving. Do not go vote. That's ignorant to me. I don't care if you don't care that our ancestors, died for the right to vote. If you haven't taken that in and feel that passion, fine. But please go out and vote. Do not sit at home, because that is going to frustrate me the most, is that if 45 is reelected solely on data where people didn't get out and vote, I'm going to throw this laptop. I'm going to be done.
One thing I heard this morning, listening to Uncle Steve on the drive to work.
Okay.
One thing that we're fighting against this year, I think that our turnout amongst Black people is going to be a lot better than it was 2016. I believe it. I feel it in my bones. But I think the thing we're fighting against this year is the surge of the old white men. Surge of the old white men. So there's going to be men that didn't vote in 2016 because they didn't like Hillary and they didn't believe that Trump could do it. Those people are probably going to go to the polls this time
and vote
for Trump because, well, there's so many people that want to be like him. That's the big problem that we're dealing with right now. People see his lifestyle and see what he's done over the course of his life, and they say, if he can do it, it should be good. If he could do it and do it that way and be successful, it should work for all of us.
Right.
Which we know it doesn't work for all of us.
Right.
But there are old white men who believe that and like the things that he's done as president because it hasn't hurt them. And even though they might not have shown their support in 2016 and going to the polls because they didn't believe he could win,
right,
they'll go to the polls this time. Well, hell, if he won once and I didn't vote then, we can do it again.
Well, hopefully they stay home again.
We just got to make sure that our turnout is bigger.
Yeah,
literally.
Definitely do. The whole 13% that we represent across the country, is it 13%?
Something like that.
Yeah, I need everybody to come out and vote because
and I think people have just become so complacent with the struggle when it doesn't have to always be a constant struggle. Right. Now, granted, the odds may be stacked against us in a bunch of ways, but some ways it doesn't have to be that way. Like it really does not. And I mean, I know some people may be like, it doesn't matter because again, everybody's not fortunate to have parents to take them and educate them. And I've recently learned like our K-12 system is not exactly doing the best job with educating kids on civics and economics anymore. But it's like somehow it's gonna have to get addressed. Yeah. Like I don't know if it's gonna take us having to lose everything. Because again, a lot of the stuff that we feel is an entitlement is not. That shit is a privilege and it can be gone tomorrow if the right people are in office and the situation is right.
Right.
That's so, true. I mean, healthcare is not a constitutional right. Broadband is not a constitutional right. Like, I mean, how do you want to do it? They can cut federal housing. And that's why I've been thinking about it, the last couple of days because I got tired of being nice. It's a lot of people that depend on some federal food stamps, some federal housing, some federal assistance, some damn Social Security to be talking about they ain't voting.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all do understand they can cut that S word at any time, right?
Right.
Like, then what you gonna do?
No, they'll be worried about it when they get the notice in the mail that it's cut. And that's the problem.
Right. And then you still got 4 years or X number of years to go before you can even try to do something about it.
Right. They're reactive instead of being proactive. And that's the problem.
And then I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna have to log out. But then they want to come hound us, like we the ones that did it.
Yeah.
Like then you all of a sudden you want to wake up and you want to show up to the meetings and you want to go crazy out on us.
Right.
But something when you could have voted and controlled what happened.
Right.
And two, if you was paying attention close enough, we was trying to tell you what was gonna go down.
Right.
Well, and honestly, this year is just unprecedented. I'm still trying to figure out how do presidents that are running for office tell the media we ain't doing no presidential debate this year. I was like, wait a minute, y'all, what?
What?
That blew me. I'm like, so y'all gonna do town halls instead at the same time instead of doing another presidential debate? Oh, okay.
Listen,
I'm like, damn. So really, don't no rules apply this year.
We all need to log off so we can go watch this garbage on TV.
Yeah.
So
you probably still need to
go
watch
around
it
again. Give your little 30-second spiel from top to bottom. Miss Ingram, we'll go with Nick, and then we'll do Demetrius, and then I'll close this out and tell people why they need to vote.
I am Councilwoman Shaquilla Ingram, and I am voting because this is our shot, really, to truly make history. And also I'm voting because yesterday was George Floyd's birthday. And, had he been here to celebrate his birthday, I'm pretty sure he would have been gearing up to go vote early. I would at least hope that. And so I'm voting in honor of him, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all of those who have lost their lives unjustly to the systematic racist society we live in.
Go ahead, Nick.
So closing words from me. Nick Green, educator. I am voting because I need our education system to be supported from the top to the bottom. I need funding to be available for our students. I need funding to be available for our schools. I need funding to be available for our teachers. And I have to go out and raise some noise and raise some hell to get people elected into office to ensure that that happens. And 2020 is that year.
Amen. Go ahead, D.
I'm voting because literally my life, my brothers and sisters' life, my parents, every single person's life is hanging in the balance. And I'm going to have a say in how my future goes. And, you know, granted, I'm involved in politics in that capacity, but I vote because literally I'm not being on the menu. And that's really it. Too much is at stake. Everything is at risk. And yeah, and literally, again, even if you feel some type of way about presidential, there are 29 other sections for you to vote on. Y'all were pissed off that we won't get fair justice. Your attorney general is up for election. Y'all were pissed off that a rapist got less time than a person with marijuana. Your judges are on the ballot. You're pissed off because we don't have broadband everywhere. Your legislators and your governor are on the ballot that can handle all that. Every issue almost that you got is on the ballot. So if you ain't recognize that by now, God be with you. But we're gonna keep talking until we purple in the face.
Listen, God be with you. Listen, I'm so glad that you guys were on the show tonight. I love having these conversations. You know how I do it. I'm voting because it just needs to be done. We got to get it done. My ancestors, but I'm also doing it for the great and late John Lewis because I love getting into good trouble. So
Yes.
come back, check us out tomorrow for the Black Friday edition of Politicking as Usual. It's all ladies. We're talking about toxic friendships, beauty, body, everything. Again, we will be back next Thursday and every Thursday until it's time to be back on November 3rd. While we're gone, it's early voting. Please go out and vote. We need you to vote. Just vote. Vote. Just do it. Vote. Love you
Turn
guys.
to NBC too, because they are going.
Yes, and watch the bootleg debate. Bye, y'all.
Bye.